Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ilham Fikriansyah Sinapoy. My official number A1M218123. So, I will present about student interest in learning English and reading understanding ability using story text. Pertama, yaitu di bagian abstrak. This research analyzes the correlation of student interest and reading comparison. The goals of the research are to realize the score of student interest in studying English, the score of reading comparison, and to prove the given correlation of student interest in studying English and reading comparison capability. This research uses quantitative research. The research implement questionnaire to locate the score of student interest, and the research implement a test to locate the score of studying. Introduction. Reading is one of the language skills which helps students in the process of learning English. In teaching and learning English, we usually find student problem in reading English text because they do not read the text only, but they are needed to understanding the context of reading materials, find out the topic, their main idea, and answer the question they relate to the text. They are needed to have good knowledge of language which has different systems, including vocabulary and structure. Reading in the very second language has continually been a serious concern for its language learner and lecturer. Interest is believed to preference doing one job or activity instead of other, and is always with accurate attention, emotional engagement of learners. Interest is often separate and labeled interest, individual interest, and topic interest. Situational interest is emotional risk by option of inference or textual stimuli. Characteristics that have been found to stimulate relate to what is happening around somebody or something. Interest include textual clearness of thinking or speaking and ability to be understood, excitingness, and personal resilience. Individual interest careful to believe to be stable and lasting through a desire to with activities or objects. Dan yang bagian metode yaitu the main design of this study was quantitative correlation. The design of this research changed into a correlation design as assigned to connection between two sets of data. This design needed one group of students that were given varieties of the text, namely student interest in learning English tests and their reading knowledge capacity. A group of students tried to discover the true approach is IPS 3 student. To know the connection of but study number that extends the data have been careful study using product moment relation formula. And the research only used two classes, which actually consists of three classes, two regular class and athlete class. The research used two regular class, one class to try out, and another class to the research of try out. The research to all students as the sample because were only 13 students in the class. In this study used extra than research instrument. They have been listing of question and tests. The research adapted the listening of questions from a book written for the university. In the study, the research got this record affirming what students think about the student. Interest gaining knowledge of English in their class. The research used like scale design for the answer to the list of questions that distribute to the student. In the research, the material of the test were taken from assessment test for senior SS colleagues grade X, and the reading understanding ability and the whole number of the text were 13 items science, but the student interest in learning English and reading understanding ability test made in study was not a standard test. The research decided to carry on the tryout and find difficult index discriminating power and reliability. In gathering data for the study, the try of the reading of the task that student outside the sample which become chosen randomly. After getting the score of try out, figuring out the difficulty index of the text, and then Talking 13 students as sample, giving the student a list of question and reading tests to the sample gathering and securing the text reading understanding text, giving the name to the raw score of college student interest in gaining knowledge of English test name as data X, and raw score of reading understanding text name is data Y, ranking the score of test from the higher to the lowest the used person and product moment duration for the raw score process. Yang terakhir yaitu bagian finding dan discussion. Finding of the study is process to answer the research problem of this study. The data to person. Respond opinions and the table below show the student score of English text. The purpose of this research was to talk about the correlation among student interest in gaining knowledge of English and their reading comprehension capability, the use of narrative text. The student ought to be reading English text or book with a purpose to improve their reading comprehension. Student interest in this research is the extent of reading interest habit. This habit analyzing English storybook, magazines, textual, context, narrative, descriptive, genre, and many others. Oke, sekian dari presentasi saya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.